And he started, I started thinking about Malcolm X. We still talking about him. I think Martin died at what, 38? So, I mean, we still talking about him. How long you been in? Okay. I said, oh, my bad. Put up my Baptist finger. I said, let me get out of that party then. Jesus died when? Oh, okay, so, oh, wow. 33, right? And a half, if you want to be specific. And we still talk about him. How long has it been? Long time. Yeah, it's real good. I want to make the most out of my life. That's why I pick and choose who I join to. My circle is very small. And if I'm overexerting myself and putting too much into it, I have to make some adjustments. That's time you can't get back. If a person don't treasure it or honor it, it ain't coming their way. I had somebody call me and wanted to talk to me. I've been talking to these people for years. I told another person, I ain't gonna say her name, I told her, I said, give her the church phone. Because they used to get my phone. That day changed. Not even a member. But want to just be like like I said in Proverbs 30:22, adulterous woman. Talks about sit at the table and eat, wipe his mouth, say, I ain't done no wrong. But like Jesus said, you go up the back door, you go up another way. A thief and a robber. There are some other things I'm looking for in this hour. I'm not a cheap trick. I'm sorry. I kept it clean as I could. My fidelity is important to me. My sanctity, my sobriety is important to me. And if you don't respect it, fine. It's okay, we can be good. I can treat anybody right. Like, man, I'm gonna still love you. But I just know the line of demarcation is what it is. Jesus did it. We treat it so funny. We make ministers super spiritual. When Jesus specifically said, in red, anything in red is Jesus. Jesus said, don't cast your pearls or that which is holy.
Yes, he did.
I'm free. If Jesus said it, ain't no use to me talking to somebody 20 times.
Go ahead.
Lest they turn and rend you.
Yes.
And most people you give wisdom to, eventually, they don't like it. They want to go ahead and lambaste you and tell you what you didn't say to somebody else that didn't hear it. Now the person that didn't hear it originally got an unoriginal opinion of what you said. That's just crazy stuff. That's just church people one-on-one, or church people going wrong. I need to do a message on church people going wrong. Because I'm serious, I've been around the block for 20-something years. This folks is just cray-cray. They ain't crazy, they cray-cray. Seriously, some folks just... They try to make leaders be something God never intended. We supposed to feed you. That's my mandate, is to feed you. That's it. That's what pastors do. They feed you. Not everything else is a fringe benefit. The main emphasis and impetus for ministry is that you're fed. And there's nobody in here to say that you didn't have an opportunity to eat.
Amen.
See, everybody get a call to come to the table, but everybody can't eat. First Corinthians 2. Now everybody all right still? All right. God wants us to live from a higher perspective, y'all.
Yes.
He does. He wants to do something in us. Now we started off, we said how, I believe we went over, you know what, let's revisit John 16. I know we said 1 Corinthians. Go to John 16:12. I think this is so phenomenal. Every time I read it, I get something new. I told you a long time ago, everybody always say, well, what was the conversation in the garden? I wonder what was going on, because Jesus was in a paradox. He was in the crucible of his soul. I mean, no, Jesus was in contact, full contact with his humanity. Right? When Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, it wasn't, he didn't go in excited. I don't know how you read it, but he wasn't over there saying, oh, it's about to be on. No. His body was telling him, you know what, you're getting ready to go through something. And so he in this intense interaction with God and with the disciples, preparing them, trying to get them to become a new wineskin for the days that are ahead, right? And so John 14, 15, 16, 17 is the whole conversation. Thank God for John. He gave us the conversation that took place in the Garden of Gethsemane, right? So you go to 16th chapter, 14th chapter, like how I talked about the Father's house, 15. It talks about the ministry, how you won't be liked. You know what I'm saying? How they're going to put pressure on you. Then you go to 16. He started talking about the Comforter. Right? So in verse 16 and 12, he said, I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now. Right? Because the surroundings were dark. They were in the Garden of Gethsemane. Pressure was coming up against them. So they were looking at a dim picture. Because they were thinking that this Jesus, this Messiah, was going to ride through and give them victory, free them from the Roman Empire. So it's not necessarily going the way that they wanted. So Jesus is trying to redirect their perspective. He says, I have yet many things to say unto you, but you cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into some truth. Oh, okay. Truth. For he should not speak of himself, talking about the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, will not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, whatever the Spirit of truth should hear, right? He should speak to you. And not only speak these things, he's going to show these things to you. Quite different than some Pentecostal churches. Most of us hear things like right? That songs, and, you know, we got certain manifestations and utterances. But he said, I'm going to show you things. So I'm going to open up your understanding. I'm going to give you a fresh perspective of things to come. Right? Now, he was talking to them because the things to come was he's going to the cross. Things to come was as well as them going to New Jerusalem. Going to Jerusalem, New Jerusalem. When they went to Jerusalem and waited those 40 extra days, right, to get empowered with the Holy Spirit, right? Those were the things to come in that age, but there's some things to come in our life too, right? So the administration of the Holy Spirit is to awaken our faculties or our cognitive spirit. Now, when I say cognitive, I'm talking about spiritual abilities, not natural. How we can become more aware of the things of God, right? Okay. 14. He should glorify me, for he should receive of mine and show it unto you. Right? They always working in collaboration, right? That's within this verse, you got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They're working in conjunction with one another, right? Verse 15. All the things that the Father has in mind. Therefore said I that he should take of mine and show it unto you. So once again, he's confirming the thought, right? So I told you what was in the heart of the Father was executed, right? By who? Jesus. And now the Holy Spirit is sent in the earth at Pentecost to enforce what Jesus executed. Or to persuade us as it relates to kingdom things. Right? Remember we said that? And then we found out that the word paraclete, the comforter, is an Aramaic word, which means what? Yeah, that's the Greek word. Come on, right? Remember this. Remember I said it means in Aramaic a redeemer who ends the curse. So when I submit to what I'm about to share in the next 10 minutes and complete it next Sunday, not complete the whole message, but complete the thought I was going to share this morning. Amen? Because I got 2 left after that. All right, I'm not in a hurry. Because somewhere along the line, I got to make your spirit man mellowable for the things that God wants to bring to you. Because there's a deficiency as it relates to our spirit man. Now the spirit man himself is complete in him. But an uninformed spirit man brings the deficiency. So churches, that's what we come here. We come to make spirits of just men made perfect. You ever heard that thought? So I'm sent to help you understand spiritual things from your spiritual man. So deep, your deep calls into my deep. Your deep calls into his deep. 1 Corinthians 2. Y'all understand what I just said? We make it so spooky. Deep calls into deep. Then we read it for 20 years, don't know what it means. That means what God has in you solicits a response from you. So you just can't walk around and say, I'm deep. Deep ain't enough. There has to be a response from out of you. That's why call is there. Deep calls. Deep calls. So I have an excitement, have an expectation. My deep calls to his deep. His deep is represented by the Holy Spirit. So the Spirit bear witness with my spirit that I'm a son of God. So much bigger. You see, we painted the room this morning and made it so inclusive because we relegated just tongues as the epitome that epitomizes your spiritual pedigree or something. No. I told you when we did teach on speaking tongues, it's a doorknob. Get you into the room. Okay.